Good evening, everybody. This is Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. I'm CmdrAleon. Good evening. Good to see you, Marinee, every Meriwether, etheric mystic, everybody out there. Welcome to the show. We're on here tonight. It's now 11:02 in the evening for another edition of Encounters. So very happy to have you with us. And Jeffrey Fring, Donna H. Nova, Frank DeMeo, Sharon. Hey, Sharon, good to see you. King Valid, Pinky Morales, Rich, everybody out there, wherever you are. Hey, Karen, Marinate, Peace, Love, and Light, Brim. Hey, Brim, good to see you. Everybody out there, Yvonne, all the people out there around the world. We had a great show this morning. I have two shows that I'm backlogged on that are not on my YouTube channel. Johnny the Third Kind, good to see you, Johnny. All the brothers and sisters out there, welcome to the show. Everybody out there, welcome wherever you are. Karen, good evening. Jared, good evening. And everybody out there around the world, good evening. Brenna, good evening. Blessed Mom, everybody out there. Judy White. Gary in Iowa, good evening, and we're glad to have you with us. Sharon, welcome to the show. Catherine Johnson. We had a wonderful show this morning. We had a guest, I had two great guests, one of which, okay, bless her, Mom. Oh, she's on, okay. I gotcha. Jackie, welcome. Jackie Redwine, thank you for the bracelet. And it's really good to have everybody here. Much love to everybody. She will be on Saturday night. Okay, good. Oh, she said she'll be on Saturday night. Okay, good. I haven't been on there. I didn't know she was on. I actually had fallen asleep before I came on live. I was sleeping. And I just woke up about 20 minutes ago. I was sleeping, actually. Rita Sanders, good to see you. And it's funny, I woke up like 10 minutes before the hour of 11. So thank goodness I woke up in time for the show. Jojo, welcome to the show, everybody out there. And it will be a great evening. Giselle, good to see you. And this is Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. I'm your host, CmdrAleon. I hope everyone's having had a great day, good evening. I know we had a full moon, so I know from my perspective at work, the people I was dealing with on the phone were crazy. Some of the people were, not all of them. But some of the people on the phone today, I think they lost their minds. And they were not happy campers. But, being who I am, you have to be calm when you're talking to people on the phone. Hey, Betty. Annette, welcome to the show. But that's just the way sometimes people are on this planet. We're doing well, Johnny. I hope you are too. We're glad to have you with us, as always. We want to make sure everyone's doing good here. And we're so super excited. I know that more and more the feeling of excitement. Hey, Jan, good to see you. I've had a horrible day today. Been crying since I woke up. Well, I'm sorry you had a bad day. I think it's the full moon thing. For whatever reason, I think people were affected by a lot of energy and had different things happen, bless them on. But I'm hoping that you'll have a blessed night and a blessed tomorrow, I hope you feel better. We want to see everybody feel good. But we know the energies are definitely really weird. Oh, they are, bless them on. They are incredibly heavy. So, yeah, everyone's being affected in different ways. I'm sure a lot of people watching the show are being affected, Hey, Eugene, good evening. Hope you're doing well out there. Always. And Messenger, Catherine Johnson, welcome. Raul, welcome. Christelli, I think it's Christelle, or I just put Christ. Reagan was sick, but better now. Good. I hope you're feeling better, man. I did a lot of things affecting people, recently. So I hope you're feeling better. Cheryl, welcome. Mercury's in retrograde. I pronounced it correct? Oh, good. I always wonder if I pronounce somebody's name correctly. Sometimes I think I don't, but okay. Yvette, good to see you. Hey, Sharon. Sharon, good to see you. Welcome. And we're going to do interviews as well. I know the energies are pretty intense. A lot of it also has to do with all the new energy coming into the earth. Is it true that about disclosure in November? Karen, can you tell us where you heard that about November disclosure? I noticed a lot of people are sick. Yeah, there are people having different things happening to that. Karen, what have you heard about November? I've not heard anything about November, but if you heard something, I'd love to hear about what you're hearing. Georgia Peach, we're doing well. Hope you're doing good too. So what's happening in November? I'm so out of the loop. I don't watch anything on the internet really, so I don't know what the rumor mill is about November of 2024. And God, my ancestors, good to see you. Oh, David Wilcox. So what is David Wilcox saying now? I've been so out of the loop with David Wilcox. I'm very familiar with David. What is he? When did he say something, and what's he saying about November? Hey, Guided by Ancestors up in Vermont. Good to see you, brother. Hope everything's going well in the Green Mountain State. I've read many of his things over the years, so I'm wondering what he's professing about November of this year. I think he's talking about disclosure. I'd have to do some research on David and see what he's up to these days. All I know is I know that the governments of the world are not going to in November tell the people the truth about the coming of space people to Earth. I'd be very amazed if that happens. But then again, some things could be in the barometer of possibilities there, Could be. Who knows? I really have to look at what he's saying. Yeah, I don't think I want to know what David Wilcox was saying because I don't know what he said, so I'm not going to speculate. But what I do know, no, we have never been abducted 222. We don't have any of those problems. And you want to do research yourself? Okay, well then we really all don't know what he said. Although he might have said something. He always does say something. I know he's been interested in that whole thing for a lot of years. But I think one of the most important things to say is that we stick on track. I don't believe there's going to be any kind of disclosure, regardless of what country you're in. It makes no difference whether there is anything going on or not in terms of the ground level, in terms of the whole climate of people voting for people. I don't think it's going to do any difference. We've talked. April's having a hard time. We need to help her. She's on right now. Yeah, we'll definitely have to help her, Friends of Fairy 1111, I'll have to help my sister. And definitely I think tomorrow night, maybe if she's on, I'll stop in there to hang out, So if you're on with her, just give her a lot of love and support. Do I have mods? I think I have one or two of my mods. I have two of my mods here. So we'll have to do some helping. Let's see here. So good. It's good to see everybody here. We'll help her. We'll figure it out. Not just Nicole. Good to see you. Well, we do what we can, We do what we can, brothers and sisters. we definitely do what we can. Alcove 6409, welcome to the show. And thank you for the roses. I appreciate the roses. Scott Shepard, welcome. Catherine, welcome. Spiritual Astraft, Sashi Lamama, good to see you. And we're hoping we'll have some really beautiful interviews tonight. I don't know, what's going to happen. The show is very spontaneous. This is the #1 spiritual UFO talk show on social media. And I'm CmdrAleon, your host, a man from Mars, also with the Ashtar Command, also a contactee from the 60s. And really here to bust the matrix. Very much so. Welcome, Chopped 832, Dragon Candle, Pasquale. Thank you for the roses, Pasquale. We appreciate it. I think we all are. Yep. Well, I wouldn't say we all are, but I think we're all at different levels. Half Pint, Gary Haas. We're all going through a lot of that stuff right now. Thank you, Francesco. I appreciate it. But, some are going through a lot worse than we are. So I have to look at it from that perspective. Yeah. Mary, welcome. Tracy, welcome to the show. Diana, and everyone out there around the world. UFO UAP, good to see you, brother. Vanessa, welcome to the show. Dennis and Joy, that's a good name. Well, Dennis and Joy must be together. Welcome, everybody. Vanessa as well. And also Rudy B, or Rude B. Josh Nix. And just all the beautiful people all over the world watching Encounters. There's plenty of room in the studio. We have seats everywhere. Get on the couch, a chair, rocking chair, whatever you got, Loretta, thank you for the heart me. I'm going to set my goals up for tonight. Thank you. And we're going to pin the hat because we always like to have the hat there. That's a special hat with the mustache. Makes you glance at something, falls over. Someone was watching me and I glanced over, seen something brune. A piece out 69. I'm not quite sure. Glanced over and seen a broom, FAL, whatever that is. Thank you for the mustache, Loretta. I appreciate it. Let me see here. Broom fall. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. I was slightly confused over that. It says here in the comment, piece out says, makes you glance and something falls over someone who's watching me, and I glanced over and seen a broom fall. Oh, you saw a broom fall because somebody was watching you. So who was watching you? Thank you, Loretta. Vanessa, thank you for the share. Hey, AK, good to see you. So, for the fact of the Palmdale situation, Lancaster, PA, I've come to a conclusion, and on my radio show last Sunday, I talked about Lancaster and Palmdale, California. I will. I will reach out to her. We'll go till, we'll do a show till about 12:15 a.m. in the morning, and then I'll switch over and reach out to her at 12:15 a.m. So we're going to do an hour and 15 minutes. I will reach out. I don't want to see her, I don't want to see her in a state of sadness. Hey, Hetty, good to see you. Welcome. And question mark, welcome to the show. A lot of questions. 4-pack, Nathan. Welcome to the show, everybody coming out here. Hey, Donnie, 3155, welcome. I see all these people coming in. Tim. I'm like a big welcome mat. I'm welcoming every single person that's around the world. I'm like this wonderful welcome. Got to welcome and hug everybody, on Encounters. So to be interviewed on the show, you have to be over 18. And also, if you are interviewed, you have to be over 18. Number one, no cursing, no foul language, no kids. I said no drinking, no smoking, no vaping, no drunks. None of that stuff. No paranormal discussion. Karen, I agree. I agree with you there. We'll definitely get to help her. We'll try to cheer her up. And I think it's Papa. Hey, Papa, good evening. Question on afterlife. Yeah. Question on afterlife. So, the life here, it's a great question, this is your life currently right now, but there is another life that you have when you leave your physical body here on earth. That life is a life where you now have a choice to come back to earth, or you have a choice to continue on your journey in what we call your space body, you see. And as you continue that journey into your space body, if you do so, you will now go back to your normal body, which is your space body, which is a little bit different than your Earth body, and you'll be able to actually either go back to your home planet or travel the universe. You have so many options. So in terms of that question, which is a great question, there is life. Life never ends. It's just that we choose, once we're done as starseed here, we have a choice to continue on further into our life beyond Earth, if we so choose to. Good question. Christelle, good to see you. Good evening. Good thing I woke up because I was totally out of it for a while. You're welcome, Papa. Thank you for that great question. It was really good. I don't think anyone's ever asked me that question. So that was a really good question. And there's so many things going on. There's so much energy coming into the earth. Dreams of past lives. Rubo says, I have past dreams. I'm having dreams of past life. Hey, Monica. I think a lot of people are they're going to have a lot of different dreams, energy shifts. Amy, Patty, should we be afraid of what? Lupita, welcome. Amy, Patty, should we be afraid of what? What would be the thing you're afraid of? I'm going to spend some time to answer questions here tonight, because that's one of the things I do. Let's see here. It says, sometimes I can feel like I am what now? RGER. Hey, Vivian, good to see you. Dan Auntie Julie says, I swear I've seen a newscast on weather and seen the same bounce house years ago, far away. I'm reading comments here trying to piece what these sentences mean. J&M, hey J&M, good to see you. Good to have you with us. Lynn, hey Lynn 948, how are you doing? Thank you for the roses. I appreciate that. Sunday, welcome to the show. Good to see you, Sunday. And we're almost at the middle of the week on planet Earth. Tomorrow's Wednesday, thank goodness. Only a few more days to the weekend. Amy Patty, no one said you were joking. I'm not sure. I'm trying to piece what you're trying to share. Has anyone heard about the dragon walking up? You can go on the maps and actually see them. I'm wondering. Interesting question, Kathy. Hello, Commander. Hey. And Cole, good to see you. Tahar, Deborah. Had a weird dream watching a show last night. Vivian, so after you watched my show last night, now I'm curious. When you had the dream, tell me, what was the dream about? This is, let's see, Waking Up Kathy Stewart. Ruby says, Leviton, time is going too fast. It really is. You know, if you realize this year, 2024, how quickly time has gone by on our planet. You know, a lot of time has gone by really, really quick. Oh, it was recently on news with tornadoes on the national news. I believe the bounce house. I've seen it before. Oh, okay. And just think how close we are to the year 2025. I keep thinking about that now, too. You know, I remember early in the beginning of this year how we were talking about the shift of things and how contact was coming, and that we just have to get ourselves prepared for the following year into the latter part of 2025. And yet we are, oh, in my background, oh, the spaceships. Okay. Huh, interesting. Gazelle says, I've been seeing a lot of faces in the clouds lately. I'm just reading people's comments. Yeah, time is flying by, isn't it? You know, we're getting close. I think time is speeding up to the point where we're getting ready for contact because time is speeding up. It's like we're rushing right into this thing that's going to be happening, right? You can feel it. You know, I've been talking to people individually that are off here, and we've had conversations about contact, and we've been feeling the energy is very much shifting very quickly. Jose says, the spaceships you see are us in the future coming back to visit ourselves. That's one perspective. I'll give you a different perspective. How about, I know for me in my contact with my space family, it's not them coming back to visit ourselves. It's them contacting us, and now connections are happening with our space family. So you can look at it that way too, Jose. You can certainly look at it that way. Spaceships you see are us in the future. In other cases, the spaceships aren't us in the future. They are basically people from other planetary systems coming to reconnect with us, our space family, so to speak. Very beautiful, you know? Let me see here. Why is Antarctica a no-fly zone? Well, the fact is, we're just watching something. Where was I watching it? Somewhere. I was watching a mini little thing, and somebody created a documentary or a mini video, which seems kind of interesting. And again, it was well produced. It was like one of those mini videos. And I said, they're right on to something. Well, there's definitely what you call advanced civilizations in Antarctica, besides scientists and others set up with these bases on the top of the snow banks or the ice. There's actually within Antarctica very advanced civilizations that a good portion of why it's cut off is because they don't want people in general to know about those things. That's a big part of, and great question. Jasama, that's a good question. When Tracy, in terms of contact, we're looking at the ending of 2025 to the year 2026. The original contact period, for those that aren't aware of any of this, was 2028. That was in 2022, before I came on here on TikTok, I had already had information about 2028. And then the timeline switched. So instead of going further out, the timeline's now shifted to the ending of 2025 into 2026. And as we go into next year, I think you're going to start hearing certain people publicly state what I am already stating on my show and have been stating since I came on TikTok. Not Just Nicole says, I need contact to happen. It cannot happen fast enough. It will happen. Kat, what's over your house constantly? I'm very interested in what you just said. Always over my house constantly. What's over your house? Okay, how come no supermodels, doctors, boxers, or CEO companies, bodybuilders ever? How come? Why? I don't understand the comment. Check out my channel. So, Kat, are you saying you're having contact? Or Kate? Is it Kate? Kate's new for you? Are you having contact? Yeah, I do. I agree, Johnny. I agree with you, brother. I'm reading comments, trying to figure out things here. We have to be patient, everyone. That's true. Midnight USA is absolutely correct. We do have to be patient. And the question is, who is having contact right now? I know I'm getting the idea just by some of the comments, somebody here has had contact. Sassafras, hello, good to see you. I'm really just trying to understand some of the comments here too. Sarah Smiles, welcome. And Slay, welcome to the show. Jackson, welcome to our show. So as we're saying, how can we not talk about contact when it's on everybody's mind? And because it's on everybody's mind, it's going to increase on everybody's mind. So Digital Moon Books, James J. says, I've seen them zigzag on radars on a Navy ship. Interesting. You know, James J., if you'd like to come up, go on to the multi-guest option. I'd love to hear your story. Thank you, Diane Stadler. Yeah, one of the things about this show, as I always tell people, you never know who's going to come on, but you have to be over 18. That's part of the rules. No kids on the show, on the screen. No smoking, no vaping, no drugs, no cursing, no paranormal discussion whatsoever. And just respecting everybody and honoring everybody that comes into the show. Ashley, good to see you. And Ashley, we contact you on email today. The email is working. I can't wait to see the cleared up picture of my dad, my father from the ship. You've cleared up even more than the original, and I can't wait to see that. Let me see here who wants to come up here. Oh, digital. Okay. Now I'm going to pray that my screen doesn't go dark on me here. I've got to just pray that when I press this button, if it does go dark, I'm going to have to move the camera. So I'm prepared to move the camera, but I hope I don't have to do that. Let me just see here. Let me bring it over to the lighted area before that happens, and maybe I can avoid the problem. Now let's see what happens here. Is it going to go dark on me? It did go dark on me a little bit. So thank goodness we have the lighting right here. Good evening, Digital Moon. Good to have you with us.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
We're glad to have you with us. And tell us a little about yourself and when this all happened for you, the story that you're telling.
Well, I didn't plan to tell a story, but I can tell what it is. I am a 58-year-old medically retired U.S. Navy veteran. I got 100% disability. I served in the Persian Gulf. I joined in '84, right out of high school. I'm from Pittsburgh, and now I'm retired, living in northern Thailand. So,
oh, great.
I'm a member of Dr. Greer's Contact Project. That's a little bit difficult. I don't know. What's your line? If you said can't talk about paranormal stuff, what do you mean? Is it
no paranormal? Meaning I stay on the cosmic. I'm also I interviewed Dr. Greer back in the '90s when he first started out in the MUFON conference.
Yeah.
So I'm very much tuned into C5. We have a C5 group here in New England that I'm part of.
Okay.
So I'm very much into the C5, and I can completely understand that.
So we can. You're talking about. You don't want to talk about cryptids or nothing like that, right? I just want.
No, I want strictly on the cosmic, intergalactic.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I joined the Navy in '84, and I went to Florida for training, and then I was an explosives worker, right? I worked in San Diego, got out, came back because I'd heard that there was going to be the recruiter called me and said, "Hey, why don't you come back? There's going to be a war, right?" So that was in '88, but they knew ahead of time there was going to be a war. So I went to this cruiser, and then I was aboard for a couple months. We got underway 15 December '88, and then we went to the Persian Gulf to escort tankers through the Strait of Hormuz because at the time Iran had been purchasing Chinese silkworm anti-ship missiles to interdict
Mm-hmm.
shipping to stop the flow of money to going to Iraq at the time,
Mm-hmm.
because at the time they were at war, right? They had the ground war that had been
Yeah.
happening. So right, so we're in the northern Persian Gulf, and it was like middle of the night, like 2:30 in the morning, right? So most of the people were asleep. I was asleep, and we go to general quarters, and they have this really loud, alarm, right? And the bosun's mate of the watch comes on and says general quarters. Well, my job was in the combat information center, but it was for, at the time I was doing sonar watches as part of the ASW division, because my job was torpedo tubes operator and maintenance technician, right? So, but anyway, the door between, they have a like a what's it called? It's called a joiner door, but it's like a sort of a, it's not an airlock, but it can be airtight with some rubber rings. You just basically open this door that has a seal on it to prevent smoke.
Okay.
So we hear this, we're at general quarters, but it was relaxed for us because we're focusing on submarines. The water's too shallow, so we know at that area where we were in the Persian Gulf, it's too shallow for submarines unless they're at periscope depth, because the water's only 50 feet deep. So if there'd be a submarine, they'd be visible, because you can't go that deep because they hit bottom, right? So
Oh, okay.
so we're
Wow.
kind of relaxed. We're like a relaxed general quarters for us, but you could hear people outside in the CIC like, whoa, what's that? Stuff like this, right? So uh, I stepped outside because we weren't we were at our general quarters station, but we weren't manning sonar because they have different stages of readiness, right? So
Yeah.
you have special conditions, right? So I got there and I'm looking at this radar repeating scope. The operations specialists are watching this thing. They have the big scopes because we had this radar, which was area air search radar, and we also had
Right.
what's called 55. It's I forget that, because that wasn't my rating, but we had giant radars that were locked on with the standard missiles, where we could intercept. The mission of my cruiser was anti-air interception for Russian bomber formations, but
Oh, wow.
there
Okay.
wasn't any bomber formations, right? So they
Right.
had two missiles forward, two missiles aft. Then they had these radars up above those that were,
Mm-hmm.
you could direct four different missiles at once. But we also
Wow.
had area air search, and then we also had local, like, navigational search for short range, right? But we had this
Mm-hmm.
very powerful radar for area air search long range. You could go out like 100 miles.
Wow.
So I go outside, I'm looking at this repeater, and they show this contact that was getting a blip, right? So as the area air search, it passes in a sweep like this, so it'll go blip like that, right? But then
Yeah.
they locked on fire control radar because they're like, this thing is moving around. We don't know what it is. They thought it was because there would be one
Right.
sweep of the radar, and it would move like a drastic distance. They were like, what the hell's that? Because the computer would then interpolate how fast it's moving, and it's moving like Mach
Yeah.
6.
Wow.
So then they locked on fire control radar to see where this thing is at in real time,
Mm-hmm.
where the radar finds and seeks with a beam, and then it reports back where it is constantly, so they can guide a missile toward that. So they locked onto this thing, and it's going like this on the
Oh
radar
my
screen,
gosh.
right, like this, and we're like, what the
Right.
hell is that? So the captain calls. He literally goes, what the hell's that? So he calls for the operations specialist and some electronic technicians to run it's like in Star Trek they call it like a level 2 diagnostic, right? You
Right.
find out, are all the circuits working? Is there anything burned out? They're like, no, it's all good, right? And then we're just watching this thing, and then gone.
Wow.
And so my captain, and now there's like whistleblower protection and stuff, right? So my captain walks out, and he pulls out his pistol and he cocks it, and he goes, okay. So then he's got this red phone where he can contact instantly, radio patch through a
Right.
satellite, through long wave radio comms.
Right.
And he goes, yes, sir, I understand. Yes, I understand it, like this. And he says, okay, this incident has never happened. Do I make myself clear?
Oh,
And
really?
everybody's like, sure, because
Oh
we know that
man.
he's talking to probably an admiral
Yeah.
reporting this. So then they changed the log so that never happened. and it's like that's it. So this is like the contacts that other carriers have had. We were a
Right.
cruiser, but if you ask around, many people have seen this. Now, when I was in active duty, nobody said shit because if you do, you're going to get notations in
Demoted?
your record, and
Yeah,
then
demoted.
you're
Yeah,
out. Yeah,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
out. Well, not even
And
demoted. You'd be out because
you'll
you
be out.
can't. You
And what
can't.
year
You
was
know, you.
this, James? What year was
This was
this?
1989.
89. Wow.
1989. That at that time, the Iran-Iraq oil tanker war was winding up,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and my ship was posted to the northern Persian Gulf with a
Mm-hmm,
destroyer, and our mission was to do area air operations like scanning,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
because they were worried about Iraqi aircraft because the USS Stark had caught a missile from
Mm-hmm.
Iraqi fighters from firing missiles into the USS Stark, who had
Oh,
taken
wow.
hits because
Wow.
Iraq was trying to keep America out of what it was, and then they later blamed the pilot for being rogue, but it was a plan to test area air defenses for
Oh,
American
wow.
ships. So
Interesting.
yeah.
So this particular object, he gets this special thing. He calls this thing that did this go all the way up to the White House? You know, or doesn't go up that
I have
far?
no idea because that was way above my pay grade. But I know he had a special phone that was patched into the radio communications by satellite because we also
Mm-hmm.
had satellite tracking of every how to say there was a at the time, I don't know if they still have this because this is years ago, they might have something better. They had this
Yeah,
thing called NTDS, which was Naval Tactical Data System, where it would feed everything that we're tracking and every other ship is tracking into
yeah.
a satellite feed that would then be processed with computers. So for example, we could be in the Persian Gulf and we could see Soviet submarines off the coast of Singapore that were being tracked by magnetic anomaly detection
Really
satellites, and you'd have
interesting.
a little symbol on a map of the world, and they're tracking this guy by magnetic anomaly through satellites that had the ability to do that. Or if there would be patrol planes tracking
Right.
something on your tracking consoles, you could push a button, and then
Yeah.
that tracking data would be relayed to this system, which would then be promulgated to all units operating on worldwide. So you can see, like you always see this in films like war games, right? They'll
Right.
have
Right.
they'll have the admirals talking to the guy briefing the president or whatever, and they'll say, "Sir, you can see that there's an offshore surge of Russian ballistic missile submarines in the Nordkap region off the Greenland ice and UK Gap, and SOSA survey has detected Soviet boomer subs surging out into the Atlantic." This is how they used to track that stuff for real. This is not like a
Wow.
myth.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah. So it's interesting. Now, I know because and this is very interesting, and I really appreciate your honesty and perspective from your own experience on that ship with the others. And so I have to. What got you into where you are now with the C5 with Dr. Greer? I'm very interested from that point of your life to how you got to where you are now. Did you have other things
oh, well,
occurred?
when I was a kid, no, when I was a kid, I had I had experiences I couldn't explain. Of the only thing I can describe would be either astral travel or abduction. Like I'd have flying dreams, but
Mm-hmm.
then I would also have. I'm just like maybe it was some, I don't know what, right? But it was like there'd be like lights under the door and people in my room, and it was like a real problem,
Re-
right? So
really?
then post service, not post service,
Mm-hmm.
but I was in service after I come back to the Persian Gulf. There was a time where I was having sleep paralysis,
Yeah, I know what that is.
um, and I had this situation where I was in my house in San Diego in Chula Vista, which is south of the naval base in San Diego. All the naval bases is a whole complex. There's a
Right.
little suburb of San Diego called Chula Vista, which is north of San Ysidro, which is at the border of Tijuana, right? So I'm sitting in my apartment. It was like 4 stories up, and
Right.
I'm seeing this, and I can't explain what the deal is, right? But I woke up and I couldn't move, right? And then there was this, I don't know, guy, I don't know what it was, wearing a silver suit with a little box with a light on its
Re-
belt. That was all it was.
really?
And I was like, what is this? What is this? And it was horrifying, right? It was like literally horrifying. So, so then after that, I didn't tell anybody about this, right? After that, I ended up where I had these classic symptoms, but I didn't find out till later that it was classic symptoms, right? Of I could not sleep with a closed door. I could not sleep with closed
Really?
drawers. I could not sleep with a closet door that's closed because there's be something behind it that would be hidden. So my whole house, all the doors, all the closets, everything's open. There's no place where something could hide and jump out at me, right? So then, I don't know what his credibility is or not, right? But then all of a sudden, I was sitting there and I was walking through a bookshop sale, and I saw a copy of Whitley Strieber's Communion,
Oh yeah, I
and
met Louis
he
Stryber.
has his
Good.
own flavor, right? So I'm seeing the cover and I'm like, I don't think I really want to buy this, but I felt like I should buy it. And so then I'm reading it, and he goes, "Oh yeah, after my experience, I couldn't sleep with closed doors or closed, drawers or nothing like that in my whole
Mm-hmm.
house because I was afraid something could jump out of me." I was like, "Wow," right? So then I became a writer after military service. I got a head injury, right? So I ended up, I got 100% disability. I have brain atrophy, and I have cognitive function and memory loss.
Hmm.
Although, so my memory is clear for some specific things, usually tied to emotion. But
Right.
for some things, it's like sometimes I can't remember like what did I have for breakfast yesterday, right?
Oh, I
So,
gotcha.
but I'm
I want to
still
go
I'm
back.
still functional.
I
Yeah,
want to go back to the
yeah,
person with the space, what I consider, I believe, is a spacesuit with a box that you just
right,
briefly mentioned. Can you
right.
tell our audience what that person or being looked like? Do you
Well,
remember?
this is my experience. I mean, I it looked like a classic gray, but I couldn't. It's like how to say, they had a silver one form suit on, which looked like like how to say, a seam
Yeah,
of
same.
sewing, right? Like a
Mm-hmm.
sewing seam. So it would have
Mm-hmm.
been like a jumpsuit, but there weren't any pockets,
Okay.
right? And they had hands with long fingers and kind of sort of gray skin, very short, like 4 foot, not that big, like maybe as big
Mm.
as a 7 or 8 year old kid.
Really? Okay.
And they had this box that was it's like a belt that went sort of near the seam. It wasn't matched up like a
Yeah.
where the seam of a jumpsuit would be to sew the two pieces together. Then somehow
Right.
I didn't see any zippers. I didn't see anything like that. But there was
Right.
this box with like an orange light on it, and I don't even know what the hell that was. So it's like that,
Now,
Now
what?
years ago, good,
No, I'm very interested. I listen to every word my guests say, so I get you
yeah,
give me a lot of questions. By all, there's so much going on with you in terms of your story. It's amazing.
yeah.
So, with this being, this Zeta, how tall was the being? Do you remember how tall they were?
It's not even over 4 feet tall. Like I'm 6'4", and
Yeah.
so it was like a little bit taller than a standard doorknob on a door, right?
Wow,
Like
it was pretty.
like
It
there would
was
be a
short.
doorknob,
Yeah.
maybe not even not even a foot tall. It wasn't smaller than a doorknob height, but maybe like I didn't have a measuring stick, right? I was just like in
Right.
bed, right? And I was like,
Right.
what? And I couldn't move. So then this I wouldn't think it was just over like maybe 4.5 feet tall. I mean, it
Mhm.
wasn't big, but it wasn't
Now, do
super.
you?
It wasn't like minuscule tiny either.
Right. Now, did it affect your ability to move when it was there in the
Yeah,
same
I
room
couldn't
with
move.
you?
Yeah, I
When it
couldn't
was
move.
in,
I was
so if
like,
it was
I
not,
was trying
could you
to.
have moved? Could you have moved if it wasn't there?
I don't know because I woke up and I saw this, and then my muscles would not respond.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like a paralysis while I'm awake. Like I
Yeah,
could breathe
paralysis. Yeah.
and I could move like my eyes, but that's it. I was it was such a
Interesting.
strange experience. It was like
Wow.
literally such a strange experience, And I don't even know what that was. I mean I've read that could be just like trauma or your mind's playing tricks. I have no idea,
Well,
but
I don't
it
think your
was
mind.
like
I don't think your mind was playing tricks on you. I read people's energy. I have one of these abilities, and I think you really had the experience. I think
well I
that
know
what
I
I'm
did. I
getting
don't know
from.
what it was
Oh, you
though.
definitely do. Without a question, I validate what you're saying. Just to let you know on the show here. So that
Yeah,
Zeta, and I've heard similar stories about this, about the what you're talking about paralysis. It probably did something, or maybe, and your body reacted in some ways where the person, many other people with these stories, they were not able to move out of their seat or in their bed or whatever.
right,
Why the being
right,
was in the room, they were
right,
paralyzed, basically, or
right,
that's the only
right,
word we can think of,
right,
right? Which makes
right.
sense in our English language. So you felt paralyzed, you couldn't do anything. Do you remember if this really short space being did anything? Did it come close to you? Was it
It
doing
was
anything?
about it's like it was about 2 feet away, right? And
Wow,
it
only two
just
feet away.
it was like I'm in my bed and there was space in the room for the door, and the door was uh, closed,
Hmm.
right? I didn't open it, and then it was just like there, and then I couldn't move, and they
Wow.
didn't like there was no like abduction sequence or no like the
Okay.
touching me at that point, so I
Okay.
don't have any of that.
So, so it seems like it wasn't there to abduct you, but it was observing you. Correct?
Yeah, that seemed like I don't see it. It's I don't know what it was doing, but it wasn't there to like take me away, right? And
Okay.
it was also
Interesting.
freaky because like, how's this happening in my apartment in San Diego, in Chula Vista? It was like what? It's like it
Right.
was one of those like what is it? And the closest thing, but I want to say there was one thing that was very striking about the whole thing, right?
Hmm.
I've had nightmares before, and the level of fear was beyond that. And the only thing I can liken the level of fear is if you've ever seen the documentary film about Betty and Barney Hill,
Hmm.
when they had where Barney Hill was talking about, he felt like a scared rabbit that's trapped.
Hmm.
And the actor is portraying this role of Barney
Right.
Hill on an interview with the doctor, right? And he's literally just terrified
Yeah.
remembering this like stuff. And I had um, instances after this that if I thought about it, I'd be horrified. I'd be like, I don't want to push this out of my mind, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
couldn't. I didn't want to like think about that is what it was. But I will say also after that experience of this thing with I was looking glancing at this other
Yeah.
guy operating the radar console because that wasn't my job, but I was watching over him
Yeah.
his shoulder, and there's a bunch of people gathered around. At that point, my mind was blown. Like I thought, oh, okay, I've heard about UFOs. I read about UFOs. I used to subscribe to UFO magazine because I was just curious, right? But to
Right.
actually see that technology showing this actually happening, meaning they really exist, was a profound epiphany of like, okay, the government is lying. The government has been lying.
Right.
Most of these stories are going to be true, although some of them are obviously fake. But
Right.
that the way that affected my mind, my whole worldview. If you say like your whole worldview was shattered, my whole worldview was shattered because then I knew from that moment that there is life in the galaxy and it is a fact. And we are not the only planet with people on it. And that started this journey of me learning about space science and like that to the point now where I'm
Wow.
trying to be a space opera author.
Well, you know what,
So it
James? What's
just
also
completely
Yeah. Well, your whole story is very compelling. Plus, your worldview would change when you have a little Zeta space being in a one-piece suit
yeah,
in your room in an apartment. That's got to blow your
right,
mind and change your
yeah,
worldview because now you're not looking to see if there's life in the universe. A being from somewhere else is in your room, however it got there, and who knows how that happens. Physically
right,
there, you're paralyzed, and your worldview at that moment, you're there, and you and that being are there, both of you completely alone with each other, and it's 2 feet away
right,
from you. Your
right,
whole worldview is shattered. Everything you
right.
were
Well,
told that it was, in a way, yeah.
and this happened after that thing with the we could because we completed our deployment and going home on the way home from this deployment we came home and then we participated in the Loma Prieta earthquake in October, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then but a little bit after that was when I had this experience and I was just like,
Interesting.
what's going on? What's going on? How I was like, how did they get in this apartment? Why is it? Why, I'm sitting in an apartment in San Diego. Why? I didn't think I was being targeted because that doesn't make any sense. I'm
No.
not something important. What's going on with that? And it
Right.
just was like it was so confusing. Like a what is this going on with me? Right. But then again, I was again after that incident in the dark in my home, my apartment. I was walking around a bookshop like a less than a week later, and I was like, I saw this book Communion with the
And you
face
started
cover
reading
up
it. Yeah,
of a
you got the
gray, and I
book.
was like, I don't really, and I thought to myself, I shouldn't read this,
Right.
but I felt like maybe I can understand more,
Mm-hmm.
So then I read it,
Yeah.
and yeah, good,
Now let me ask you. I
yeah,
feel that you've had more than one experience since that one in the
sure,
apartment. I wanted to hear more of your experiences. So I think that was only the beginning of things for you on a galactic cosmic experience level. Tell us some more about some of the other things. What happened after that? I have to think. I keep getting you've had more visitations.
I don't. Let's
I
see.
don't know if they're conscious, but somehow you're being contacted or somehow being
Well,
watched.
when I was a kid, right? When I was a kid, I had. It wasn't again. It wasn't like overt contact, right? But
Right.
when I was a kid, if I'd be walking through the woods, I could feel like not like I'm being followed, but there
Mm-hmm.
was a positive energy of just being in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Like the trees, it felt like the trees are not quite conscious, but
Mm-hmm.
there was a pleasant, like a positive energy,
Yeah. Yeah.
like what people would say, like a magical grove or something. Even though the place
Yeah.
I was walking would just be in the woods, and it felt more natural, like what people talk about with like ley lines and stuff like that. So I thought
Right.
like,
Right. Right.
but I really rejected all these experiences. Now I will say later on, after I got out of the Navy and then I went to college and I studied space sciences and stuff, and I started slowly learning how to be a writer. I was lucky enough to interact with a person on Pal Talk, which was an old chat style program over 2 decades ago, right? Where you could go in. It was kind of like this, but it was only on audio, no video. I
Right.
met Nancy Malacaria, if you've ever heard of her, who wrote the project at Earth, and she calls herself Earth Sister, right? So she's
Hmm.
from Boston, not Boston. She's like from Salem, Massachusetts, something like that. And
Okay.
so she was a very popular contactee influencer who wrote a book about her experiences. And she went on Coast to Coast AM, Coast to Coast AM, and she went on I think she went on the David Letterman show. They basically like laughed at her, right?
Oh,
But
really? Okay.
it's unfortunate, right? But she had a cadre of people who were they're like people follow you, right? So they're trying to
Right.
learn. And she was the most amazing speaker. Like when you would talk to her, you could tell she was absolutely convinced of what she's saying. And a lot of stuff she was saying seemed like a little bit outlandish.
Right.
But that's her experience, right? And she wrote this book called the Project at Earth, and I have a signed copy that she gave me that I brought to Thailand. So it's that's not an experience with them, but
Right.
it's part of that whole thing, right? So then I started reading about like Dr. Greer and Bob Lazar, and those things, and that all makes sense. So it's I don't know. It's that's what it is. So I saw your channel a couple days ago, and I've been popping in and just seeing what you're
Oh,
about.
great. Well, this is the number one. I'm on an NPR radio station. I'm a professional broadcaster. I'm a contactee since I was a kid in the 60s. And my story is this is way before, when there were contactees in the 60s I never knew existed. They're all
Right,
dead now. But Giant Rock, if you study Giant Rock, George Van Tassel, I have a friend, Ashton Athena in California. She knew all the original contactees, George Van Tassel, many of the original contactees that said they went on board flying saucers with Venusians. They called themselves Venusians. That was the early
right,
days of what they call the contactee movement. So for me in the
right.
60s, I was living in Long Island and I went upstairs. I told this story. It's always never gets old. I go upstairs from the kitchen with my brother, my mother, father. I go upstairs to the second floor of our house in a cul-de-sac for no apparent reason. Why would I go upstairs? I go past my brother's room, open the wooden blinds. He has a bigger bedroom, and we're in the middle house in the cul-de-sac. It's nighttime, and there's a spaceship hovering in the cul-de-sac with windows,
Oh,
and there are men and women in spacesuits, light blue spacesuits, about I'd say about over 7 feet tall, just like us, very beautiful and
right,
telepathic, communicating with me. Then that
right,
was the first time I ever had that happen in my life, and they're telling me that I'm not from here. I'm from where they are. I'm not from this earth. I came here, but I'm not from here.
right,
I didn't understand what that meant. So I went back downstairs, excited. You know, I'm a kid. I'm like, before I'm a teenager, I'm trying to get
Right.
everybody at my family to come
Right.
upstairs. They've got to
Right.
see this. This is happening. They've got to see this. There's a spaceship in the cul-de-sac. There's space people looking at me. You got to come upstairs. So I said, why aren't they coming upstairs? You know, I want to just validate what I'm seeing. I've got to bring the rest of the family upstairs.
Yeah.
They didn't come
Yeah.
upstairs. So I went upstairs. I started banging on the carpet, and I was angry because I couldn't get them to come upstairs. Then I got over the anger, went back to the window. The spaceship was still there, and they just wanted to tell me. They said, "You're never going to forget us. As you get older, you'll never forget us. You'll remember our ship. You'll remember us. You will never forget, ever, while you're here, and you'll learn more about why you're here." I didn't realize how much that was important. I didn't know how important that was, what they said to me in my consciousness. I felt an immense sense of love from them. And so I started this show here because friends of mine on Facebook told me to get on TikTok. I said, "Oh, TikTok, it's a bunch of people, you know, doing glamour stuff and, you know,
Right.
selling things and kids." Far, far from the truth. When I got on here, I was trying to figure out what to do. And I said, "There's no UFO talk shows on here. So I'm going to take my professionalism, my contactee experience, my connection with the space people, and I'm going to be a different kind of UFO talk show host without a suit on, without a big studio, and this show's going to go where it's going to go." And then I had a psychic tell me when I first came on here with this woman, she says, "Oh, your show's going to go viral." I said, "What do you mean?" "Oh, your show's just going to go viral." And I didn't understand I understood what the word was. I had to really understand that. And it did. It went exactly as she said it was going to do. And I've been doing this for over a year, almost 2 years now. And I've interviewed all kinds of people. So it is a talk show versus everything else on here. I do a talk show. And I've interviewed some phenomenal people, including yourself. I consider you one of those phenomenal people as a guest here. I've always had great guests, and you're just another one of those great guests.
Oh, thanks. I'm not trying to be a guest. I'm just kind of.
Well, but you know, but that you're kind of a guest. I mean,
Thanks.
you're interviewing.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I'm
so
saying thanks. Yeah. Thanks.
you know, so
Yeah.
I
I don't want to
appreciate
be.
you.
Thank
You know, and not that you're going to go viral or anything. Now everyone's going to say, "Oh, we got to get this guy on," you know,
No, I don't want to.
David Suskind's show or whatever. They were just having a conversation,
yeah.
but you know, it is
Yeah.
so. And for me, it's important to share information. I believe the more we share with each other, the better we are, and the better we learn about different people's perspectives about what they've gone through. So someone might be saying, "Oh, you know what? I probably went through something like that with a being in my room." And there are people here who will say, "Yeah, you know, I have had similar. I've had people on here that have been abducted. I've had people on here who've been taken on spaceships with good space people. I've had the whole gamut on here." And your part of the puzzle, I think, is important about being on a ship with the Navy at that point and zigzagging UFO craft that, you know, and the whole story there. We don't hear those stories very often.
It wasn't like
Only
multiple,
one.
just one.
Just
And
one.
I
But
was
just
like,
hearing that
it's
story,
got to
yeah.
be one because we were the only ship. I mean, in the area, there was no other surface contacts. There was no other aircraft, and it was middle of the night. You know, so there wouldn't be too much air traffic flying in that area because it was a war
Absolutely.
zone, right? And so it wasn't like a fleet or none of that stuff. And so then I see these videos of, I mean, I read about like the lights of Lubbock, Texas from the 60s and, you know, so many people that are trying to cash in and various like what's called strange encounters and stuff shows. And so I'm always trying to figure out like what was all this about. And so when I was on active duty, it was just like something you just didn't talk about because you're done. You know, because I worked in a personal reliability program, which in the military is you might not directly work with, but you have access to nuclear weapons technology, and they don't want somebody who's going to be like a problem, right? So I knew if I would be saying, "Hey, yeah, I'm a contactee," I'd be losing my job, and then it'd be it. Either I'd be dropped out, or I'd sent some other place. It's not critical, right? And I served 9 years, so then now I'm just living in northern Thailand. But then I heard about this C5 group, and I got the app, and I was a little bit wary because I'm just wary.
Yeah, of course.
I guess
you know,
because I was in the military, I'm always cautious about going up in the mountains in the dark with people I don't know. It's just like I was like, okay, you know, it's like that. But I'm trying to find people that seem to be open to the idea, more spiritual. Of course, you know, I when I was in college, I got a degree in Asian religion, so I'm a Buddhist. and because I'm a Buddhist, I want to live in Thailand. So now I live in Thailand, and I'm basically
Oh,
living a
good.
quiet
Good
life
for
here.
you. Well,
So
man, I'll tell you, James, I
that's
want to
fun.
really thank you for coming on here. And you're a new friend of the show. I feel like, we've been knowing each other for a while
Thank you.
here. And I'm really happy that we're friends. And I'm glad you found my show. Everyone does find it eventually. That's why it's the number one show here on social media. And I hope you'll come again if anything happens, especially with C5. You're in Thailand. Let us know what's going on in Thailand when you do these events or if
Okay.
you get together with some people. It's always
Yeah.
interesting perspectives from people in different countries doing C5. Like I said, I met Dr.
Yeah.
Greer when I did my TV show with him in New Hampshire back in the early 90s at a MUFON conference. He was not very well known then. And,
Right.
look where he is now versus where he was in the early 90s. It's pretty amazing.
Right. Yeah.
You
I
know?
have much respect for that guy and all the people that he's enabled to come forward and featured because they have had experiences in the military where it was before you could not. And then they came out with these the videos from a couple years ago of aircraft chasing Tic Tacs and stuff. It was it. I don't know what the physical object was because we didn't have any aircraft at the time. We were a
Yeah.
cruiser, right? So we didn't have attached aircraft like you could set up a ready flight or something. Combat air patrol. We didn't have any of that. So I have no idea. But whenever they show on those videos, this Tic Tac thing goes from 20,000 feet to sea level, and then it's flying around. It's like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How does that happen? And that's the thing, right? Because I studied physics, and I'm like, it can't happen, but it does. So how does
Yeah.
that happen? It's got to be some new thing. So then I read about like this scattershot project and Alcubierre warp drives and stuff, and so that's all part of why I'm a space opera author, working
Yeah.
at being telling like space
Now,
opera stories.
now you're writing a
Follows.
book. You said you're writing a book. Have you completed your book yet?
No, it's in the final edit stages. I'm not plugging myself, but on my website, I'm trying to release in 2 months in
Right.
October. I got to go through advanced review copies, and I have a bunch of editors. I have a team of editors that are independent contractor editors. I'm not working for a Big
Right.
Five like Shed Publishing or another.
Right.
It's all indie publishing through Amazon Kindle, right?
Oh, cool. And what is your book called? What's it about, and what is it called?
The first book, it's a series. It's called Merchant of Vision. It's about a guy who is a it's space opera, so it's not UFOs like that.
Right.
It's a guy
Space
who's a
opera.
welding technician. He's on this job on the fringes of this empire. A race of space cat people attack his planet. Its place is already at war, and he gets drafted into this war because a warlord who's fighting for the old Terran Empire that's crumbling and falling. He is tasked to repair her ship from combat damage from missile attack. So then they say, "Hey, you did a great job. You're good. Come aboard our ship." And then he has that's his ticket to get off world is his skills, relying on his skills. It's like a rags to riches story.
Interesting. Wow. It sounds like a fascinating book. I wish you all the best on it. So, everyone, I want to thank James. James, thank you for coming up here and having the ability
Thanks,
to
sir.
share your story. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day. Thank you very much.
You
I am
too.
a fan of your show. I've been watching for a while to just see what you're doing here. So thank you very much. Have a good day.
Well, thank you very much. I'm going to do this here. Let's see. I got this verification. Oh, good. TikTok has a verification thing. It's like a puzzle. The thing is a pain in the neck. It came over my screen. No one else sees it but me, so I did it right. So here you go. I'm going to let you down here. Thank you so much, James. And you're watching Encounters. Phenomenal guest. James was our first guest. I want to thank James for his service and for coming on here and sharing his story. And this is what it's all about here on Encounters. That's why we do what we do here. And this is why the show is number one in social media. If you are also wishing to be a guest and you've been visited by space people or had positive contact, if you've been documenting sightings in your area, if you've been an abductee, we'd like to get all the gamuts, including the positives. So if any of you, 298 people, have had any positive direct contact or you're having it now, come forward. Don't be afraid to come on the show. We'll treat you with respect. We want you to be forward enough to tell your story. It will be respected here. And people need to know what's happening around the planet. People are having encounters. People are being visited. So we don't know how many people are being visited, but all over the world, people are having quietly visitations by space people. Some people might be having abduction experiences. Other people are having beautiful experiences with space people. So I want to hear your stories. I want to know what's going on out there. I don't know anything unless I hear it from you. But you have to be over 18. No foul language, no smoking, no drinking, no vaping, no drunks, no drugs or whatever, no kids on the show, and no paranormal discussion. Let me take a look here. Okay, Ashley Bashley, we're going to bring Ashley Bashley back on here. Ashley's a friend of the show. She's always got something happening. Now, also Mermaid Shoemaker, we're going to bring her up too. I'm going to get Mermaid Shoemaker up here. I usually don't do two at a time, but Mermaid Shoemaker, change your setting. Mermaid Shoemaker, you need to get over 50 followers, but change your setting to public, Mermaid Shoemaker. And then when we're done with having our interview with Ashley Bashley, you have to change your settings so everybody can follow you, because right now you're at 27 followers. TikTok is, I think, 50 plus followers to go live on audio. So Mermaid, I think you have an interesting story, but you need to change your setting, come back out and go back, go out and reset your setting. And then we'll start following you. Ashley Bashley, good evening.
Hi, how are you doing?
We're doing good. It's a good night. And how are you doing?
I am really good. I'm trying to draw the ship that I had a dream about that I've already told you guys about, and it's hard to draw, even though I know how to put it together because of the dream that I had. It's weird how to draw it because of the way that the base to the ship goes, and even though I'm an artist, it's hard to put it on paper. But I started putting together what the image of the woman that asked me what I was looked like, and the only thing that I can calculate what she looks like is kind of almost like Arcturian, but
Arcturian, okay.
Longer. Her face is long, and she wore a lot of obsidian necklaces. The more that I actually take time to reflect on what she was wearing, because it was a pretty traumatic dream. And her eyes, I'll try to get my camera to work. Just give me a second, because...
Okay. And Ashley Blashy, for people that don't know, she's been a guest on our show. She has a friend in NASA that will be coming on again and again. Damani, and this is a drawing you did of the space being that you saw?
I'm just literally sketching it with a pen, because I have no idea where my pencils are right now. I think I let one of my kids take them, and I'm sure everybody who has kids.
Look at the picture of this, folks.
It's weird because when I told you that my hand was a six-finger hand or six-finger hand, it also had nails that were I don't have nails like that. And I'm guessing the reason why it's for climbing and doing things that, us humans can't really do. But this is supposed to be a necklace that was an obsidian reflector, and I don't know if it's to protect their throat chakra or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Wow.
And I told you that they didn't have any fear on this planet until I got there and was just having a weird experience. But I tried drawing the eye, what I told you guys when I told her that I was human and she blinked and her eye flashed. The only way I can explain it to you is normally humans have this circle, like that when we blink. I'm on a call right now. Just wait a minute. And this is how a human eye is. This is how their eye is. Their eye has this weird
that's interesting
thing. And then when she blinked, it flashed this image, a diamond type image. And it was she flashed her eye, and I just remember looking at her, and I was too scared to really comprehend what was happening because I thought I was gonna die. But this is what the woman looked like, and her clothes that she had on were really hand woven materials, nothing what we have that's cotton. It was beautiful. Very if you were to take a whole bunch of leaves and weave them and make them into clothes. I wish
So
I had pencils.
she was wearing a very comfortable outfit, and she seems like a very beautiful person. And I say
Yeah.
person because she is a human.
Well, she was very humanistic, and then she also had like these leaves in her hair. Like they were very like I can tell you that they were very well. They covered their heads, and she had long, like her hair was dark brown, but it had like this curl to it. Like the only way I can explain it is if you were to like braid hair and then put like little pieces in it, but they were little pieces of some type of jewelry that
Oh, interesting.
was to keep their hair from getting dirty. And like the younger kids, I haven't drawn them yet, but the younger kids that they did have, it's like they were trying to keep their hair from getting dirty because they didn't want to have to like get it in a gnat, or like you know how any human
Yeah,
takes
yeah.
care of their kids, like
Human kids
they
want to keep they want to stay clean.
yeah. And she's very protective of her kids. I can tell you, like, just going back and reflecting on it and just drawing it is, it's not an easy thing to do. But obsidian necklaces, I should know what obsidian means spiritually. I'm gonna have to like do some research and figure out what it means and why
Yeah,
she had so much on her body, because it meant something to be wearing it on the neck like
yeah,
this. And
yeah.
then she
There's a
also
reason
had
for it. Yeah.
like this on her third eye, is what it would be called.
Hmm.
Like she
Was
wasn't
it a?
talking to me in a sense that I can really like how I'm talking to you. It's like there was like a telepathic communication between us, like when
Yeah.
she was like, "What are you?" and I said human, and I just kept looking at her because I was terrified. It's
And why were you terrified? I mean, look how beautiful she is.
because because my humanity was still conscious, and I didn't understand where I was and what was happening, and I was on a different planet, and I thought I was gonna die because their
Mm.
planet was being attacked. Like I can
It,
draw, like this is another ship. This is from the other dream that I haven't finished yet. That's from the dream where that guy was showing me what happened on his ship.
yeah.
And like it's so small for me to explain it to you, but this is like the port that basically opened up and he can go under, and this whole thing filled up with water. Like
Hmm.
when he opened this, the whole thing filled up, but there was like a seal in this door to keep
Right.
the water from getting into this part, and this part was guarded by military so that nobody else on the ship would try to get into this room.
Now, when you say guarded by military, this is different than the picture we saw of the space woman, correct?
Yeah, this is from the dream
I just
where
want
I
to make.
where I saved those beings. This is from the dream that I think might have been like an Atlantis type of area
Okay.
that it crashed. It looks like Atlantis. It might be. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that this is a heavily guarded room, and like this is just the entrance to this area, and there was about 6 people in this room when he walked out and just started stepping over bodies to
All right.
get into
The
this
person
part of the ship.
the person just to give people background. The person that was stepping over bodies was stepping over space people that who were dead.
Yeah, they were his shipmates on
The
this ship, and
shipmates and the
it's hard for
space
me to
and he was.
figure out how to draw this ship though, because
Mhm.
it's like I saw it from the inside. I didn't get to see it from the outside. I can just
Mhm.
only imagine what it looked like from the inside. And all I know is that it had a mechanism in it to pump out water if this mechanism didn't work, that this was supposed to pump out water, but whatever dropped, like there was something that connected that made this ship fly, and it
Mhm.
fell from some enemy ship that attacked it, and they made a quick like rush landing to what I think might have been Earth. I'm not sure. It looked a lot like Earth.
Mhm.
Like the beings that he was talking to looked like us, but
Mhm.
he was not. He
Have
was
you
not
ever
human.
have you ever shared have you heard of April, my friend, my sister up in Vermont?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you got to connect with her. Just write this down. Friends with Fairies 1111. That's my friend in
Oh yeah,
Vermont.
I have actually made. I'll write it down again. It's friends with fairies. They said.
Yeah, you got to share this story with her too about this woman's. You got to show her a picture of the woman that you're drawing.
You
I
said
think she'll be able.
11:11.
Yeah, she'll be friends with Fairy 1111. She is, as you know, we're part of a group of 5 that are eventually going off planet together. And so, yeah, you need to let her know about show her the picture of the drawing that you've done of the woman. I think there's something she can probably tell you about that too.
I will.
Very interesting.
I
But
have a
continue
drawing
on.
I'm gonna have to show you from one of my journals because when I first started having contact, I drew this picture of a woman who had blonde hair and she didn't look human. And like everyone asked, "Why are you drawing this person? Why are you drawing this person?" And I'm like, I don't know. Like it's just an image of somebody who keeps showing themselves to me, and I'm drawing her because it's interesting. But the biggest thing that I wanted to show you is from this dream that I had with her, because I remember her because she was very adamant on asking me what I was, who I was, and can't get
And
her image out of my face,
have you
out of
seen
my.
Ashley? Have you been in touch with her since? Have you? See, I feel that there's a connection with you two that is
I'm
ongoing.
starting to wonder if she might be the same woman that I've drawn from one of my journals that I have. That's why I
Hmm.
need to find it so I can show you, because this is something that I drew like over 12 years ago before I even had this dream, and it makes me
Wow.
wonder if she's contacting me. Like I'm not quite sure, but it's interesting every single time I talk with you how the more I discuss stuff with you, the more I have more vivid
You know
dreams. But
what?
I'm gonna show you really quick what the
Yeah.
substance was that was coming out of the ship, because I'm
Hmm.
telling you the ship was like very big and like almost like a round body like this,
Hmm. Hmm.
but then it had like these tops on it that were kind of
Hmm.
like a city. I don't know how else to
Hmm.
explain it.
Yeah, you're mentioning that before. Yeah,
And
like a
I
city
have to
ship.
tell
We
you,
called it a
this is
city ship.
what's crazy is we had a storm in Oregon the other day. We don't have thunderstorms very often, and I'm really intuitive. And I went outside and I swear, this cloud looked so bizarre. It kind of looked like this, but it was in a cloud. And
Yeah.
even the bottom of the way that the ship was like shaped, I kept looking at it. I'm like, this is weird. And the fact that we had a conversation about, I think Damani brought up, or you brought up, that there was a
Yeah.
ship that shot lightning bolts or something like that in India.
Yes.
And there was thunder and light. There wasn't like actual lightning, it was just thunder, but it sounded so bizarre. Like I've never heard thunder like that in my life.
Yeah. Of
And we
course.
live
Yeah.
in Oregon. We don't get storms like that. And it was very random the way that it came in. And we were outside because something told me to go outside. And I caught these black, weird, like orb looking things that were coming in and out of this cloud. And they were moving so
Really.
fast that even when I slowed down the footage, I was like, that's a bird, because I was literally like taking
Right.
films of the birds because they started panicking. You could tell they didn't want to be in the area because of the storm. But then you could see these black things just moving in and out. And I was like, I don't know what that is. That's weird. And even my husband, who worked for the Air Force, was like, he said it kept sounding like weapons or something were going off. Like, like it didn't sound normal.
Right. And not that they were weapons, but that was his analogy from what you were saying, what you were
It
talking
just,
about, correct?
it was very odd. And I wasn't the only person that noticed it, but this is what it looked like. And it was coming from pretty far away, and it was just moving in on this group of people. And like, this is it from super far away, and
Right.
say like, these are all the trees. And like, this is just me drawing it really quickly.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
trees, and then you've got like all these mountains, which I already showed you the painting, and like these people that are just, let's say that they're living in these like kind of like these tents that are like
Hmm.
homes that they would live in, that they've made with like the things that they could make it off of. And there's a whole bunch of them. There's like a city of them, and they're all here. And then there's like this fire pit that they were doing like some type of meal type thing. And then all these beings, I'm just gonna draw them as stick figures because it's the easiest way to like draw it and show it to you, like the fastest way that I can.
Hmm.
And there's like, I think I said there's like 300 of them. There's a bunch. And then
Hmm.
all of a sudden, I'm just standing in this guy's body right here, like
Hmm.
right in front of the fire. And then I look up in the sky and I see this. But the first thing that I saw to my right, which I can't really like move the paper if I had a longer piece of
Right.
paper, is when I saw like this, which would be the rings, and then this, like a planet, like right here.
Really? Wait a minute. Let
Yeah.
me slow you down. I got to slow you down. I got to have some questions. So there's the city ship up in the sky with the clouds, and right to the right side, can you explain what the rings are to everybody watching?
I really don't understand how to explain it. It like when we look in the sky and on Earth, we look at and we see the moon. And when I looked
Mm-hmm.
up in the sky, I saw a planet that was like what we see as the moon, and I automatically was like, I am not on Earth right now. Where am I? And I just kind of lost
Oh,
it, and like
interesting.
my humanity started having a complete panic attack. And then all of a sudden, like the painting I drew from like a different perspective of this building being hidden, but this is where they were, and I walked over here to where all
Mm-hmm.
these trees were,
Right.
and like this building that was hidden by all these trees was like right here,
Mm-hmm.
and it was
Now,
hidden. It was
now,
completely hidden by all these
now,
trees. And this
now let
panel
me,
that was like
yeah.
this, all I had to do was
No,
go through the trees and walk all these people from like here all the way
right.
over here. And I put my hand on this panel, and like I said, it glowed with my human handprint
Right.
when I went like this and put my hand up, and it like the panel glowed blue. Like the only way I can explain it is like if you touch a touch screen and
Yeah.
you swipe, and sometimes you can see like it leaves like an imprint. It kind of did that, but it was
Mm-hmm.
a whole handprint.
Now, I want to ask you, I got to jump in here. Also, just to let people know, you're watching Encounters. If you're wondering what you're watching, this is a talk show called Encounters. It's the number one spiritual UFO talk show on social media. CmdrAleon, the host of WESU FM's The Cosmic Eye radio show, Sunday mornings on NPR Pacific Radio, worldwide at WSUFM.org. I'm a contactee myself. I'm with the Ashtar Command. I'm from off planet. I'm a starseed. I'm from Mars originally. And yeah, so I'm like a cosmic book. But can you tell? So I want you to tell everyone coming into the show, watching the show, who are new to the show. Welcome all the new viewers to the show here, Encounters, here on TikTok. Welcome to the show. Can you tell us now? You're not on Earth. This is happening on another planet,
Yeah,
correct?
this was definitely another planet, and the skies were reddish, bluish, and like it just had this weird aura like color to it. It didn't look like anything I've ever seen. Almost like it's nothing that I can really explain. Like there was also water, like all where you see where these mountains are. There was like
Mm-hmm.
water all in between all these mountains, and then these are where they live. Like this is considered to be like
Right.
their tents that they lived in, or their homes. And these beings were
And
like
now this
eight
planet was
eight
also, you
to,
mentioned this
they were
planet
tall.
was the one that what you had the people being taken off the planet because the planet was being destroyed.
Yeah, by this ship, whatever this city
That
ship was.
ship.
And
That ship
when
was
I tell you
destroying the
like this
planet.
plasma like substance came out of it
Hmm.
that looked like gack, it started coming out really slowly, like to the point where when I was looking at it, it was going so slow. It was coming out like this and just
Hmm.
started slowly going. And also I didn't draw, like there was trees and everything. Like you could see trees for days, like all over. And then of course they had the weird haze of like, I wish I had my color pencil so I could
Right.
show it a little bit better. And just me standing here, I see this start to drop, and then it starts to hit this mountain, and then it just starts like, I don't know how to explain it. It just looked like if you ever see a volcano
Right.
explode and stuff just turn into a big pile of smoke
Right.
and dust. It was kind of like that, but it just turned into complete blackness.
Yeah.
And
So
I,
this ship actually, folks, was a negative ET craft that came to
yeah,
this particular planet where humans were living that were very peaceful, and it destroyed the planet. It actually destroyed this whole beautiful planet. This ship, for whatever reason, it was there to destroy it. It actually got away with destroying this particular planet. Do we know where this planet was in? Do you know what part of the universe? Did you have any idea or remember where this
um,
planet was?
when I've talked to Damani thinks that it might have been the planet that was in between Mars that got destroyed.
Maldek, the planet Maldek.
Yeah, and the
Maldek,
fact,
I know what Maldek is, but go ahead.
but I'm not 100% sure because like I said, I don't know, but I can tell you that you see how this ship's kind of round and has like
Mm-hmm.
this city on top of it. So
Mm-hmm.
this building, I'm gonna have to draw another picture to explain
Then
like
go
what
right
the
ahead.
inside of the
So while you're
facility.
doing that, there's a planet called Maldek, folks. Many of you might have never heard of the planet. I've known about it through years when my friend Ashtar Athena in LA. Maldek was a planet, a beautiful planet that existed between Mars and a few other planetary. It was way bigger than Earth and way bigger than most of the planets in our galaxy, in our solar system. Something happened and it was destroyed.
Yeah, and
And
I think
go ahead.
whatever the dream was that I had is explaining because it's just weird. So this door is right here where this panel is. This door, like it opened, and then you go inside, and all of a sudden there's just this track like this, and there's just these. All I can explain it is these circles that are the ships that are like this, and they're just lined up. And then it's kind of like the only way to explain it is like this is like a track that it goes off of, and then they were automatically programmed to go somewhere and save these people. And what's interesting is like they had these seats that were like this,
Mm-hmm.
and like say that this is the seat and this is the bottom, and basically you could sit in them like this, and there's this top part that's like here, and basically the doors would open, it was see-through, and like four to five people could sit on it, and they would just go, and they would, it's like these doors opened. The doors look like, the only way I can explain it is like this giant like window like this, because I ran out of
Mm-hmm.
paper and I'm drawing with a pen, and it literally just opened and just would take them wherever they're supposed to go. And
Yeah.
I I can't even tell you how I couldn't comprehend that all of these beings just listened to this person right here.
Yeah.
Just it, like obviously a leader, obviously somebody of importance, and like there's children, there's a lot of beings on this planet. And this ship, when it was coming towards us, it was small, but for it to look this big compared to the mountain, it was pretty terrifying. And these beings didn't have any type of fear or anything. Like they were living very peacefully on this planet. And that's the thing that I felt kind of strange about, that I felt like I was coming there and like I was spreading fear by going there because I was scared and they could sense it. But I also think it's because of whatever's connected to her third eye. Like it's almost like a receiver where she could sense
Now,
something was wrong,
now
and that,
was she also on the planet that you were
yeah,
there with? Now, what happened with her? Where'd she go?
I don't know, because I can tell you that these were automatically programmed to take them somewhere else so that they would be safe, but I haven't been able to figure out where exactly.
Let me ask you a
And
question, Ashley. Have you tried communicating with that woman?
I have.
And what has happened?
I think that when I had this dream that I got so scared by some stranger coming up to me and saying, "What did you do on the astral plane?" that it created some type of spiritual block or some type of mental block,
Hmm.
so that it's been
So,
difficult to communicate.
here, let me slow you down for a minute. Ashley, I want to do something for you tonight. I want to help you with my newly downloaded abilities here from the command. Will you give me a minute or two to help you? I want to take the fear away from you.
Sure.
Okay, we don't want you to have any fear. I want you to. I'm getting that you're supposed to contact. You have a relationship with this woman, the space woman. I want to help you contact her. Would you like? All I'm going to do
Yeah,
is
I would
take away the
absolutely
fear.
love to, so I could figure out why. Like the
We're
biggest
gonna.
question I have is like
Yeah,
who is this that's
I
attacking
don't.
me?
I don't know, but they're definitely negative for sure. They definitely have advanced abilities with their weapons, but they're not as advanced as those that are here to. They're not as advanced as those that are peaceful beings of light that have spaceships that can neutralize their weapons of war from that spaceship. But I want to focus on you, Ashley, because I want to focus on that space woman, and I want to by when I get done doing what I'm going to do tonight. you're going to be able to communicate with her.
Well, that would be great, so I could start getting some actual answers.
Yeah, you're going to be able to communicate with her. What I'm going to do is we're going to make it so that you can communicate. There's not going to be a blockage. I want you to do something while we're here on the show here. I'm being told I'm getting the strongest feeling within to help you, and we're going to get rid of the blockage, and you're going to be able to communicate with that beautiful woman from wherever planet she was from. She's alive and well and safe, but you're going to be able to communicate with her after tonight.
Okay.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I want you to close your eyes for a minute.
Okay.
I want you to clear all the thoughts out of your head right now. We're going to do something that's going to activate your consciousness to a level of frequency where she is, and you're going to be able to telepathically communicate with each other. Okay, so we're going to do this. So
All right.
Are your eyes closed? Tell me when your eyes are closed.
Yep, my eyes are closed.
Okay. And as you close your eyes, take a deep breath in, Ashley, and then breathe out of your nostrils, please. We're going to calm your mind down because your mind is going very fast right now. We're going to calm it down. And when you're calm, let me know, Ashley, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're at peace. Your mind is calm. First, I want to say you have nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to fear. Your mind had the fear, but the mind is blocking you from making contact. We're going to do some work on you. I'm going to do some work on you right now. I'm putting my hand, in a sense, remotely above your head. I'm going to switch arms here. We're going to clear the energy of fear. We're going to get your brain to calm down. I'm adjusting some things here. In a moment, you should feel a sense of warmth.
Oh, I've
Relax.
already started feeling that, so.
Relax, please. We're taking away the blockage point from your mind. Your mind was blocking you because your mind was afraid of you making contact, which you have every right to do. We're adjusting some things and healing some areas of your consciousness. Be still. For the time is now. For the time is now. I'm working in my Ashtar command mode of my energies right now. I'm not just working as my talk show host mode. I'm working in Ashtar Commander. I thank my parents for giving me the ability to do this. How are you feeling, Ashley?
I'm actually feeling pretty decent.
You're sounding much, much better. No fear. You are connected to her. I'm going to explain now. You must understand. You are connected to her and them. You are part of their space family, so to speak. That's why you're able to draw pictures of her. You're connected with them. You're part of their galactic family. Your memory will come back. There'll be no blockage of communications. Do you understand?
Yes.
You and her and many others, but you and her have a deep connection. You from beyond Earth. You never came from this planet, you know. You never came from Earth. You are remembering things by drawing these things. You're remembering who you are. Don't be afraid of remembering who you are, because by remembering who you are, that is the most important thing you can do right now, is remember who you are. Don't run away from yourself. Run into yourself. What does that mean? Don't run away from yourself. Run into yourself. As you run into yourself, you can look at yourself in the cosmic mirror of life and see who you truly are. Yes, you are Ashley the human, but you're also a space being in human form. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I kept getting the name Alana every time, like the
Mm-hmm.
more I started thinking you were doing clearing,
Mm-hmm.
probably what her name is.
Yes, most likely that is correct. Write that name down. Remember Alana's name, and when you communicate with her or call out to her, just remember her name is Alana. Alana. You've got the name correct. You not probably. You have the name absolutely correct. Do you understand?
Yeah.
She is a space woman, not from this planet. They are safe, and they go from where they were to a distant planet, similar to what you would call a planet inhabited, where they can inhabit a planet is similar to Earth, a planet that has oceans and mountains and so forth. The planet they're on now is very safe, and they are well protected.
I
She would.
definitely get that.
She wants to reach out to you, but she understands that you have been in fear within your brain consciousness.
Yeah,
Right
that's
now,
because I've actually pretty much explained that if I'm gonna have any type of contact, it's got to be in the dream state. Because for some reason, my human consciousness just I feel like I go insane when I actually physically see something and I start questioning it way too much.
okay, so we're going to take away that fear right now. And we're going to give you empowerment to not be afraid anymore by your brain level. First of all, let me just do this. You're going to feel something here. We're going to take away that fear and that part of your brain. We're going to take out that thinking right now that you feel. Keep your eyes closed, please. I want you to tell your brain that you no longer will listen to it.
I'm no longer gonna listen to it.
I'm no longer going to listen to my brain.
I'm no longer going to listen to my brain.
I'm going to listen to my cosmic heart.
I'm going to listen to my cosmic heart.
I'm no longer going to listen to my brain.
I'm no longer going to listen to my brain.
I will listen to my cosmic heart.
I will listen to my cosmic heart.
Okay. Okay, we're going to do one last thing. I'm going to send an energy of light into your physical body, to the etheric body, into the physical body, the brain area, all through your body. You're going to feel something in a moment to complete the process of no fear. Keep your eyes closed, please. You should be feeling something right about now.
Yes, I feel like someone is tickling my hair. I don't know how to explain that.
Yes, yes. We're sending a swirling energy into your body from above your head. I'm sending that right into your whole physical cellular structure. That's why you're feeling a tingling sensation right now over your head. As people on the screen see me moving my hand, I'm doing this from remote here in Connecticut, where she is. I'm doing this remotely. And again, I want to thank my father off the ship for activating me to be able to do this for people. So I'm very humble and blessed to be able to help people. Okay. I want you to say one more thing. I am a starseed.
I am a starseed.
I'm not going to be afraid to have physical contact with Elena.
I am not going to be afraid to have physical contact with Elena.
I'm going to open myself to Christed energies of light with Elena.
Sorry, I didn't catch, my phone glitched.
Okay,
I'm,
I'm going to let myself have Christed levels of contact with Elena,
I'm going to allow myself to have Christed levels of
of
contact with
contact with Elena.
Elena.
I now will stop listening to my brain, and I will go forth without the dream state and invite her to contact me in the physical reality. Or simply, I will allow her to contact me out of dream state in this current reality.
I will I'll allow her to contact me in dream state in this reality,
Without the
and
dream
also
state in
stop
this
listening to
reality.
my brain.
Right, right. So what you're going to do essentially is you're not going to have to dream about her and feel that you have to dream about her to go there. You're going to actually have physical contact with her. You're going to face her and in a sense of no fear, in great harmony and love, and you're going to embrace each other. Do you understand?
Yes. I also just got a
Okay.
message that I have to go to like more water to contact her for some
Mm-hmm.
reason.
Then follow that. If you're getting a message to
She
go to
really likes
water,
water.
yeah, you have to go to water, then you go to water, and that's how you will contact her. Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Very
It's
good, Ashley.
interesting that you called her Elena because I called her Alana, but the first name that came was Elena. And then I was like, is
Yeah.
it Alana or is it Elena?
Yes. Well, now you have no more fear. Do you feel different? Do you feel better?
Yeah, I do. Like, it's what's interesting. It's like I actually had my back pop. I've been trying to get it to pop just by sitting there and measuring like what was going on and
Mm-hmm.
meditating. And I think that when you have a blockage and like it'll physically manifest in some type of way in your actual body.
Well, you'll be
And
also able to draw more things as she'll share with you. She'll share with you more things that you can draw to show people. Like when we're on here, you're showing actual things that are real. You're not just drawing up an imaginary thing. Everything you're drawing is from a real experience in your dream state. Now you'll be able to contact her. I believe you'll be able to start contacting her in the next night or so. It should start happening. Your consciousness will now be open, and you can ask for her. You can call out to her, and she will come to you.
yeah, and I'm also gonna figure out what obsidian is because I really want to know like what maybe I'm
Yes,
supposed to get some type of obsidian and wear it to connect with her.
I don't know, but
I'm just
if you go to a good gem store, a place that sells a lot of crystals, you can ask somebody who's an expert in that. You know what that is that you need to get.
pretty sure I might actually have some because my
Hmm.
husband found, I think this is how interesting this is because I just found out about her like in the obsidian because I was meditating on it. Pretty sure that
Oh, that's nice. That's beautiful.
my husband found a big piece in our yard.
Wow, that's
That's
really
like
amazing.
really huge piece.
That's amazing. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and the fact that he found it, I don't think is a coincidence.
Yeah, now look at that. Very cool.
And it's really
Love it.
sharp too. Like this is what
Hmm.
weapons were made of and stuff. So it's like
Yeah, it looks like obsidian too. It looks really, really beautiful.
it is. This is just the one piece. Before I go, because I'm probably gonna get going to bed here pretty soon. Because I know it's
It's
later
late.
where you're at, but
Oh yeah, I'm gonna let you go, but
we've
I
been.
know
I'm hoping that I can find the obsidian that he found in our backyard, but I don't know if it's on here.
I have
Michael,
some obsidian. I have some obsidians that are like egg shaped, and they're like really beautiful. So yeah,
oh, you found it.
um,
Cool. I want to show you this too, because this is how interesting nature is. I'm going to show you the difference between the
mhm.
obsidian my husband found and he's actually found both of these pieces. So this is the one he found in
Oh
our
wow, look at
yard,
that. Wow, look at
and this
that.
is the one that he found when he was a kid.
No, this is
Or
That's
this is.
amazing. Oh, look how beautiful those are, man.
this is what
Yeah,
I found.
he found this one in our yard.
And
So
Crazy.
you tell me that that's not some type of like sign or something, because this isn't
Yeah,
something that
yeah.
you just find in the
No,
backyard.
you don't go in the
And
backyard and find something like that. You're
yeah, it's
absolutely
almost
correct.
like when he found it, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Because like when you go to look for this, when you go to like an actual gem store, this piece right here is probably like $100.
Oh
Where
yeah,
I live.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
Really
and
beautiful.
I'm definitely gonna figure out why she has this obsidian necklace on and like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
pieces in her hair, but it's gotta mean something because I didn't really piece it together until we just did that meditation basically. But
Mm.
this is, I might sleep with this next to me and tonight.
Yeah,
I might actually sleep with this
go
next
with
to
your
me.
instincts on that too. If you think you should sleep with it, then sleep with it. You know.
Yeah, because I know that it protects a lot, and I've been doing a lot of meditation and stuff, and I've been having a lot of interesting dreams since we've been doing these conversations. And I know Damani had something planned tonight; otherwise, he would have been on this.
Oh, when Damani comes back, he'll have more information when he
Yeah,
comes.
he's actually reaching out to some of his contacts for you and asking them a lot of
Oh, good.
questions. So
And for
he's
people that don't know who Damani is, he's a friend to Ashley's. He works for NASA part time, but he has very strong connections with people that are in top security clearance that do
yep.
want to see disclosure and tell the truth. So you're going to hear
I
some really interesting stories from Diamani when he comes back on
I
here.
cannot wait because he's got a lot of stuff to talk about. But I also wanted to show you this because what does
Hmm.
this look like to you when you look at it from like
Oh,
an
that's
artist
interesting.
perspective?
From an artist perspective,
Like if you look at it, like I know most people on here have imaginations because I'm also an artist. But we
okay.
randomly found this at the beach. It was just washed up. It's coral, but it's very interesting, like the way that it's shaped.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece of coral. It looks to me like an animal with two eyes, like a
Yeah.
cat.
Yeah, like my daughter said it was a unicorn, of course,
A
because she loves
unicorn? Yeah,
unicorns,
we have imaginations. We'll have different things.
or a horse, or a cat. But
Yeah.
I was like, I looked up, it's supposed to bring some type of abundance, but it's also like, you don't, this is not something that washes up on that beach very often.
Interesting. No, it looks to me, my first impression for me was because I have a cat, I see a cat, you know, but that's
Yeah,
me.
I mean, it does look like a cat too. And then it's when you flip it upside down, it can look like something too. But
Oh, yeah.
I really love nature, and I can't wait to show. Like, I'll have to send you the video of the storm that happened because that was just, it was a pretty interesting storm to
Hmm.
say the least. I
Yeah, I'd
love
love to
going
see
out in
that.
nature and seeing that kind of stuff, but also I think it's interesting that that's the first time I've ever experienced seeing stuff like that.
Yeah,
Even
no,
some people in the comments are saying a buffalo, fossilized,
yeah, I can
petrified
see that. I can see the buffalo too.
turtle. Yeah, these are just some of the things that I like, but I appreciate you helping me with basically not listening to my brain when it comes to the fear, because that's one of the hardest things about being human for me is
Well,
I
but now,
question
Ashley,
everything.
after we just did this tonight, you feel a lot different, don't you?
Yes, even like when you were helping me with doing the meditation, like before you even asked me, it felt like electricity was going through my hair, like
Right, that's right.
tingling
Yeah.
through my
Well,
hair.
we
So
what I did was I realigned your brain and I realigned your consciousness, and now you'll have no fear and you'll have clear contact with Alana.
yeah, and I'm gonna be able to draw a lot better when I actually get my colored pencils. I'll take time and actually sit and draw some of this
Yeah,
stuff out because there's a couple things that I do want to draw out and show you in more detail, like a storyline, so that you can see what I experienced on this ship, because it was technology like I've never seen before. Like not even
yeah.
on any type of sci-fi TV show or nothing.
And that was the ship that was the one that saved the people off the planet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they went to another planet. They found another planet since then.
Well,
That is very
that's
beautiful.
what this was telling me. These ships that I drew, like I just drew the door and like how
Hmm.
they were aligned and how they left. They were already programmed to go to some
Yeah, they had
planet
another
that was a
planet.
safe
Yeah,
haven for them.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I know you have to go to sleep, and it's getting late. And I also want to say we're at 72.2. We have 322 people here. I need everybody to tap. If you tap and you see a heart, I need to get up to 100,000 before 1 a.m. So we have 320 people here. I need everybody to participate. I love to have my audience being participants. Even if you're not a guest on the show, you can participate this other way, quietly by tapping. So everybody tap, and I think in 2 or 3 minutes we can be up to 100,000. We got 325 people here. That means every human being tapping with their hand on my profile, on my side, tap on my profile, and you'll get us up to 100,000. Can you do it? Can we count on you to do this, folks? And also, please do gift us if you support what we're doing here. We've been really committed to the mission work here on this show, and your support means a whole lot to us here. So please, very humble for all of you out there. Please show your support. You can also do my Venmo, Cash App on my main page here on my profile. Anything you want to donate on my Venmo, which is a PayPal company, it's a legit thing, Venmo, and I'll get the donation on Venmo. I have a link, and make your donations. Also, you can do TikTok gifts. We thank you for all the gifts. So please, if you choose a TikTok gift, please do it. It could be a whale, it could be an ocean, a beach setting. TikTok has all these weird things that you can, gift as a gift if you can do it.
The only other thing that I could share is how tall these beings are from this planet too, because they were tall. Like a normal human is like, here's what we look like,
Yeah.
and then these beings are like this
Right.
compared to us. So I'm like looking at them size wise. I'm like, they're very tall.
Yeah. Interesting.
And
All right, Ashley. I'll
but
let
I
you.
hope
You
you
have
have a
it.
really great day. I appreciate you letting me back on it. What
Of
time?
course,
What
always.
time does your show start in your time? Because I'm on the West Coast, so
Uh,
I can
on the West Coast,
schedule
I
stuff with
start at
Damani.
11 o'clock Eastern. That's 8 o'clock West Coast.
Okay, I'm gonna let
3 hour
Damani know
3 hour
so that
time
he.
difference. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. 3 hour difference.
Okay, that way I can actually plan stuff, and I'll message you directly on here and let you know his information, because somebody let me know that when I went live, I accidentally shared his phone number on accident when I was going through the
Oh.
contacts, and I was like, oh my gosh,
Oh
I'm
no.
sorry. So I was like, I need to fix that, and I want Damani to have some privacy because I don't want him to get in trouble. But
Yeah. No, we don't want that either. All right, well, Ashley, I'm going to let you and your husband get some rest. Thank you for showing the stones from that he found. Beautiful
yeah,
stones. Thanks for your story, and thanks for letting me help you now unblock your consciousness so that you're not going to be afraid to have physical contact with Elena. I don't know when that's going to happen, but between when you telepathically communicate with her, you eventually down the road are going to actually physically meet each other, and it's
oh, I
going to be a
know we
beautiful
will.
experience.
Plus,
You're going to.
I
You're very
was just
connected
told
to them.
this cuts cords and breaks barriers and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to look it up, but that's literally what I was just told.
Oh, interesting.
Which is, yeah, and I'm gonna have to look it up because I don't ever second guess when I'm guided
Yeah.
to know something. But this is supposed to help with like not being scared and cutting cords
Yeah,
on the
good.
astral plane. So it would
It
make
is,
sense why I got
and
such
it
a
seems
big
like
chunk.
it's very sharp. So someone's saying be careful because of the sharp edges. I think it's sharp. I don't know. I mean, it just feels
Yeah,
sharp
they
to you.
actually used it in native tribes to create
Yeah,
weapons and
right.
stuff. So,
Yes,
yeah, I'm gonna put
very
these
good.
sharp pieces away because they are. But I hope you
Yeah,
have a really
don't.
great
Yeah,
night. Thank you, Commander, for helping, and hopefully everybody has a great day. And Damani and I will try to go live probably after your show if I can get him on, because
yeah,
he's, like I said, he's pretty busy.
yeah. Well, he'll come back when he is not busy. So
Yeah,
Ashley,
he'll definitely. He's looking forward to it.
you have a good night. We're getting towards 1 o'clock here. We've done about a 2 hour show. We're almost at 100,000. We need to hit 100,000 likes. We're at 96.9, 97. Everybody tap. I love having everybody involved in the show. The one thing about why this show's so popular, because I include everybody, whether you're a guest or whether you're not a guest, just tapping on my profile is meaning a whole lot. That means you're being proactive. It's showing that you actually support what we're doing. Ashley, thank you for Evelyn is giving you some gifts. Ashley, she's giving you some jalapeno, I think it is,
Well, thank
and
you. That was
also
sweet of you. I appreciate it
yeah,
a lot because
yeah,
it takes a
they
lot for
loved
me
you.
to come
Yeah,
out.
absolutely,
It takes a
absolutely.
lot for me just to speak on this stuff because
Tar.
I used to be really scared, but
Oh,
you've helped me a lot, Commander. So I'm
oh,
not
thank you.
like I haven't talked about this on any other radio, anything. Like you're the first person, and
Oh,
I could
thank
have
you.
talked on Clyde Lewis, who does Ground Zero, who talks about a bunch of conspiracy theories and UFOs and everything. So
Well, this is a better format because
you're
I'm a
amazing.
contactee. Yeah, I
Oh
have
yeah, and
I
you
work with
also
space
help.
people. Yeah, I
You
help
really
people.
help me bring me out of my shell to get over being scared because it's more important to to get out of my fear of talking about stuff that I've
Mm-hmm.
experienced and realize that I'm not the only one and that I'm not crazy and that other people have experienced it. And
Mm-hmm.
there's even scientific evidence people have caught with cameras and stuff that's unexplained, that when you have a scientific study or people that are scientists that are studying it and they have proof, like I'm just starting to realize that there's no point in me being scared anymore. Like I need to just get over it. And
Yeah. Well, tonight, now that I worked with you, and now that I used my healing abilities from the Ashtar command that have been given to me, you're nothing. You sound totally different. You have no fear anymore. You're not afraid to have contact with the space woman Alana, and you will, and it'll be the most beautiful connection because you are actually are connected to the lineage of their space. I can't what's the word for it. You're part of their space family. It's the only way I can put it.
well, yeah, and I'm also a really good artist. So like I have a feeling that's one of the biggest reasons why they're communicating with me is because this is one of my paintings.
Oh, beautiful.
And
You're very talented.
thank you. I keep getting guided. I need you to paint this. I need you to paint this. And sometimes I get overwhelmed because I get so many images
Mhm.
sent to me. I'm like, I can't retain all of this information. I need to write it down and then I'll try my best. But
Wow.
that's why when I was like, I'm drawing with a pen, that's not what I draw with. I draw
Yeah.
with
No.
paint
Your
pens or
colors.
like
I can't wait.
pencil.
I can't wait to see the space. If you get to turn her into what her color of her face looks like, I can't wait till you put more color into the outlining of her face. I think it's gonna be beautiful. Well, I'm gonna
Yeah,
let you
that
go.
I will definitely talk to you later and I'll work on getting a painting of her done within the week.
Okay, sounds great. And we'll
All
have
right,
you
you have a
back.
really good night.
You too. I appreciate you, Ashley.
We
And
appreciate you.
uh, and that was Ashley. It's now 1 o'clock almost. We've done a 2 hour show. Stargirl, thank you for the gifts. And if you want to do some last minute gifts for me, I would certainly appreciate it. We have 339 people now. I know not everybody can financially do TikTok gifts, so I'm just honored that you're here watching the show. Paul, thank you for that, for the roses. Let me see here. And Butterfly, I think we're going to bring Butterfly up here for a minute, and then we're going to call it a night on the show here. Butterfly, let's see. We've had so many beautiful people on here tonight. Butterfly, good evening or good morning.
Hi, Commander.
How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good, Timmy and Timmy time. Don't worry about it. We're glad you're here, brother. Tahar, I better say that word when I get the mustache. Um, so tell us what you want to share tonight, this morning.
Well, I just wanted to say that the last time when you went on with me,
Yeah.
it was so cool because, you had spoken that my star family loved me and that they were going to be with me. And doing some TikToks, I just happened to catch the green light, the fluttering green light in my TikTok video after that, like shortly after that. So I just feel like it was part of what you had spoken, that I was going to have, that type of visitation, I suppose.
Yes.
And even I also had not just the green flickering lights, but I also had the formation of clouds in another one of my videos on the same day.
Wow.
And so I just really appreciated it because it was kind of like I knew it was there, but I didn't expect it to be like another visitation.
Hmm.
But I felt like it was an addition onto what I had already exclaimed that had happened.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Well,
so it was
thank you
just really
for.
cool. And I just wanted to say thank you so much because, I feel so much peace and comfort in the fact that I have a star family that loves me. And I appreciate that you come on here and you're so brave about talking about it and helping others to believe that they're validated for
Yes.
what has happened, and nobody can take that away from us.
Nope. Never can they take it away from you. That's the whole thing of busting the matrix. Because as you watch me, I don't care what anyone thinks. I come out here to just kick the matrix right out and let people come in. That's why this show's so popular, because there's a lot more people that are having experiences as starseed, having encounters, and they outnumber the people that aren't. So it's our time, it's your time, it's everyone's time to be bold, to come out of the closet and be who they are, and not be afraid to say that I am a starseed. I have been visited. I have been contacted. I'm not afraid to say it. And if you don't believe me, you can just go onto another planet. Simple as that.
Exactly. So I just wanted to confirm all your work and just let you know that all your efforts and your time and your hours and even your tiredness is being seen, and it will be rewarded.
I appreciate that so much. Well, Butterfly, I'm going to thank you for being here. And I want to thank all our viewers, all our people that have been guests. If you want to be a guest on my show tomorrow night at 11, we're on at 11 to 1 usually. So if you have been contacted, prepare yourself to be on tomorrow night and ask me or tell me in the comment section why you want to be on tomorrow. When we're on tomorrow night, tell me in comments what your story is, and we'll bring you up on the show. Butterfly, thank you, and I appreciate you as well for coming
Absolutely,
back.
Commander. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
You too. And everybody have a blessed night. This is Encounters, a show that's out of this world. You can watch all my shows on Ashtar Command Spaceship News on the YouTube channel, Ashtar Command Spaceship News. Remember it, Ashtar Command Spaceship News is where I have all my encounter shows on that are recorded, including this one. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.